Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go-to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Hi, and welcome to The Real Female Entrepreneurs. Our next guest has 21 years of experience and expertise as a psychotherapist, parent coach, and keynote speaker. She has a unique gift for helping adults understand today's children on a deeper level. You know what? She's also known for her interactive talks filled with aha moments. So get ready to have your aha moments happen and your mouth drop. She has lots of humor and a powerful insight into what's going on with today's children. She empowers parents and educators to support children's growth with confidence and purpose. Help me celebrate this inspiring advocate for mental health and well-being, the amazing Nicole Runyon. Nicole, thank you so much for being here with us. You are truly amazing. So you work with parents and also teachers to actually do collaborations to support children.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's really an honor to be here. And I've been working with parents really the entire time I worked with children. But now in this capacity, I find that getting to the parents helps the kids get better faster. And the younger parents of younger children, it helps prevent from mental health issues in the future.
What are you seeing in today's society? What's really happening with children and parents? What are you seeing?
I think that there's a culture of parenting and the culture of tech. And both of those two cultures are very revolved around keeping kids comfortable and keeping them happy. The tech is giving them a major dopamine boost and it feels good all the time. So it's what they want to do all the time. And the parents are, really having a hard time with boundaries and rules and making the kids experience disappointment and painful feelings. They really want to rescue them out of that. And the combination of a constant dopamine fix and parents who want to rescue kids out of their difficult feelings is really making kids not able to grow and mature. And in a lot of ways, making them have causing mental health issues like anxiety, for example, is really big with this generation of kids. And I think that a major root cause of anxiety is simply our culture. So my goal is to educate parents and teachers and really anybody that interacts with kids and who works with kids that, the kids really do need adversity and to work through hard things and to experience the gamut of the human experience. And we can't prevent them from that.
Yeah. If you don't experience the pain in the early ages, you're going to experience it later in life eventually.
Well, yeah, and you're not going to know how to deal with it. And that's what we're seeing with our young adults. Generation Z, which the oldest right now is 27, we're really seeing them have a hard time out in the real world. Their bosses are reporting that they're often calling in sick, so often that they have to fire them because they're not functioning. And they're not just physically sick, but they're mentally sick. They're often taking mental health days because they weren't prepared for what you said, which is that life is painful, right? Life is hard as you get older, and they don't know how to manage that.
There's no coping skills.
Right.
Wow. So I raised my husband's grandson and he is 26. He just turned 26. And he shows up for work. We don't have a problem with that. And he is a gamer. And he has a degree in animation art. And I can tell you now, pulling him away from those games and making him go do outside activities, which we made him do. And it was painful even back then because he did not want to go do them.
That's right, because they make the video games, they use algorithms to make them highly addictive. So, what we really want to understand about big tech, and parents really need to know this, is that all of their products are made to keep us on for as long as possible. And us adults even get sucked in. So, how can we expect a developing brain to be okay with that without an adult stepping in, like you said, and saying, no, turn the game off, you have to go outside? And that's what a lot of today's parents are not doing because it's hard.
I also see the elderly who use the phone a lot. They are getting sucked into that as well. Prying the phone out of their hand is really hard.
Yes. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. I would think of all people, the older generation would be okay with it. But frankly, that says a lot about how addictive these products are.
So we deal with female entrepreneurs here, and a lot of them have children.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, hey, bribery works in our world when we're trying to work. Okay. And we're going to give you screen time while mommy's on the phone, or mommy's on the webinar, or mommy's, doing what she has to do for business. What are some other suggestions that you have besides limiting that time? What else, other suggestions do you have for them to overcome what's happening in the mental health world because of the screen time?
Yeah, that's a big one for sure. And I think it's important for moms to understand that it's okay for kids to be bored. It's okay for them to be uncomfortable. It's okay for them to have to figure something out while mom is working or busy or doing something. In fact, not only is it okay, but it's actually good for them, because what that does is that builds their tolerance for hard things. It helps them be creative. It helps them think of things maybe they wouldn't otherwise think of. So I say limit that time, strategize when you want to give them that time for the screen. If you absolutely cannot be interrupted, if it's a very important meeting, then that's okay to use it. But then afterwards, they can come up with activities that they can do on their own. Now, there needs to be some prep to that. You're not just going to get them automatically to say, yeah, I'm going to turn this off and go pull some weeds outside, So I always suggest parents to sit down with their kids and make a list of things you can do independently and things that you can do with your caregiver or whatever. And of course, those are going to be age appropriate because older kids can do more independently than younger kids, but there's always something that they can do. And again, when they run out of those things, it's also good for them to have nothing and be creative and think of something. And they always do.
So my brain always goes back to the fact that when I was growing up, and, even my husband's grandson who's 26, we've always been taught that the true leaders in the world always played some type of sports. Mm-hmm. However, I'm seeing today's world, the parents are giving into saying, oh, it's okay because everybody's so busy. So I feel that adding sports into their world, they don't have to be good at it, guys. I mean, that's my fault. I wasn't good at it. Mm-hmm. I do have a nephew who is a professional baseball player. Yeah, but I wasn't good at it.
It didn't run in the family.
And but I literally played. I was a catcher.
Yes.
I played soccer, I played flag football, I played basketball, and I would go to the other side of the court and actually shoot goals for other people. I still sort of do that today. But but I wasn't that good at it, I'm saying. So can you give your opinion on that as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think sports are great. Any kind of physical activity, movement, kids are not getting outside. They're not moving. So it's something really to think about, not just what they're doing on the screen. I think we're really focused on, okay, well, is it safe? Are they playing a kid's game? It's innocent, whatever. We don't need to solely be concerned about what they're doing on the screen. We also need to be concerned about what they're not doing in the real world because they're on the screen. And so sports give so much enrichment to a child's life, not just because of physical movement, but because of all the learning they do from it, right? They have to respect and listen to the coach, another adult in a position of authority. They have to work together as a team. They have to learn conflict resolution. These are all skills, soft skills, that are really missing for Gen Z. And the adults are having to teach them these things that they should have learned in their childhoods. And us, I think, older people don't realize that they actually have to be taught, because we weren't taught. It just was natural for us because of our lifestyle, right? Like, we went outside. If we weren't in an organized sport, because I was too, just like you, but I wasn't any good, but I did it. And if I wasn't at some kind of activity, I was outside playing with my friends with no adult supervision.
Mhm.
And I learned so much from those experiences. And they weren't always good experiences. There was a lot of hardship and conflict, and I had to figure things out. And I didn't, have my mom to go run to and say, fix this, please.
Mhm.
So yeah, absolutely. Outside organized activities, kids getting together without adults, always, always a good thing, and so missing in this generation.
So, with being the therapist you are, and the coach that you are, what really brought you from going into the entrepreneurial world? Have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur, have your own business, or how did that transpire for you?
Mhm. I always wanted to be a private practice therapist. As long as I could remember, I was actually 10 years old, and I decided I was going to be a child therapist. And I envisioned myself having a private practice. And I started out in community mental health when I graduated, and I got a really, really good, rich experience of all different kinds of mental health issues and all different kinds of different families that I wasn't exposed to in my life, in my earlier childhood. And actually, my husband pushed me out of that and into private practice. I was a little scared to make the jump, but it was a goal of mine and something I always wanted to do, and he knew that, and so he pushed it. And I, never looked back. I don't regret it at all. I love being in business for myself, because along the way, I never thought this would happen, because all I ever wanted to do was be a child psychotherapist. But along the way, I said, you know what? I want to do something different. I want to speak. I want to write. And I want to really make a difference, kind of on a broader scale. And I think that entrepreneurial mindset of just being self-employed and being on my own for so long made me think, well, I could do that too, and I could do anything. And so I took that leap a couple of years ago, and I switched my private practice from seeing kids to coaching parents. And I've been speaking, and I actually just wrote a book. It's in pre-sale right now. And so
And what's the name of the book? You got to tell us the name of the book.
okay, it's called Free to Fly: The Secret to Fostering Independence in the Next Generation.
Wow. That is amazing. I can't wait. So it's on pre-sale right now,
Mhm.
correct? Where can it be pre-sold? Where is it pre-sold at right now?
You can go to my website, NicoleRunyon.com, and there's a tab called My Book. You can click on that tab, and there's two links. You could either buy it through Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And then the reason why I'm suggesting people go to my website is because once you buy the book, you can put your confirmation code into the step 2 on the site, and you could download some free bonus material that I created for anyone
Oh,
who buys the book pre-sale.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
They'll love that. So, how do you balance your family life, personal life, with being an entrepreneur and running the business that you run?
That's a great question. Some days I feel like I do a really good job of it, and other days I feel like I'm drowning. And I think that's probably pretty common for, female entrepreneurs. The way that I really try to do it is I focus on what's my priority in that moment, or in that hour, or in that day. And if my kids are around, they're always the priority. And so I feel like then that's my choice. Everybody can choose something different, but that's really important to me. And so I feel like if I can just acknowledge that in this moment, they're my priority, and whatever I have to do is just going to have to wait. then that feels a little bit better than trying to juggle it all at the same time.
So your children are what age?
11 and 16.
Oh, wow. So you have run your whole business with your children growing up pretty much.
Yes. When I was doing full-time private practice, my schedule was revolved around theirs. So if I had a kid at home during the day, I was working at night. If I had kids in school during the day, I was working during the day. I always just kind of switched it to just revolve around their schedule. And I could always be flexible to do that because my husband is also flexible with his work. So we've just sort of made it work in that way over the years.
Yeah. So the ringing thing is flexibility and a tribe of supporters who are there for you.
Yes. And I'm fortunate enough, I live in Detroit, Michigan, and there's really not a reason to live in Detroit unless you have family here. So that's why I'm here. I have a very large family and they're my tribe, and they have always helped me along the way, my mom and my sister. So it's been great.
All right. What would you do if you were just starting out and you weren't in private practice, you weren't anything, and you were like, oh, I'm going to start a business. I just know I want to. My husband said, go for it. What would you suggest to somebody?
Well, I think the very first thing is wrapping your mind around the idea that it's not just going to be hard, but you're going to have moments where it's harder than you think, and you're going to want to quit. And so I would say don't start until you know that you can work through those moments.
That's good. Because working through the moments is the key.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I'm at right now. I mean, I got a little choked up when I was saying it because I'm just in this place of, wow, like what have I done to myself? I had this thriving private practice and I made this big change, and it's been really it's been a ride, and it's amazing. And I have moments where I think, wow, like look what I've done. I'm so proud of myself. And then I have moments of what have I done?
So if someone's at that what have I done moment and struggling a little bit, what advice do you have for them? You're going through it right now.
Yeah, so I would say, I'm going to show you. I would say I have this stuck to my computer and I'm taking it off. Just keep going.
I had somebody say the other day, have it 80% and just know you have to work through the challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. And then once you can accept that, then you can do anything.
Yeah. So thank you for the authenticity, because, most people wouldn't be so authentic and say, oh, I'm just going through this now.
Yeah, well, what you see is what you get with me. That's for sure.
I understand. I'm the same way. All right. Knowing what you've learned in business so far, what would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self?
Oh, I would tell her that you're stronger than you think. Yeah.
And you can do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she did not know that. She did not like herself very much.
Well, I mean, the real thing is the mind can achieve anything that we can conceive. I love that statement.
Yeah. Yep.
So now that we went back, let's go forward a little bit. I know you're planning or have started planning. What are some tips that you actually do when you're planning? What is something that you do to plan for the new year?
I like to envision myself getting to the place I want to be. And that doesn't mean the ultimate goal, it's going to be different from year to year or day to day. But I like to sort of almost daydream about, what it's going to be like when I accomplish my goal. So right now it's being on a bestseller list. And I just keep thinking about that moment that I get a call from my publisher and they tell me that I made the list.
And you have that feeling of, oh my God.
Yeah. All the hard work, it was so worth it.
And how are you going to celebrate when you get that call? Because we already know it's happening.
Yeah.
So how are you going to celebrate?
Well, I think I will certainly be calling all of my people who have supported me all along the way.
So sweet. Oh
And
my
that'll
God.
feel good to be able to tell them.
So, all right. So we know one of the goals is your book being on the bestseller list. What do you have another goal?
Yeah, I think I would like to be able to offer therapy in a way that I believe in. So I really felt over time that seeing children was unethical, because again, I really feel that it's not them, it's the culture. And I think it's up to us adults to change the culture. So I really want to get that message out there that we have a mental health system right now that's overloaded, especially for children. And we never had the infrastructure for it. But now that we've tipped the scales with their mental health, the system is essentially broken. And there's not enough care for the kids who actually need it. So my goal is to help educate people on not putting kids in therapy when it can be a simple fix like take the phone away and have some boundaries. Because those spots are being taken up by those kids, those therapy spots, and the kids who actually need it can't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, what I want to do is get this message out there to as many people as possible, so that the mental health system can function the way that it needs to.
Wow. What a huge goal.
It is kind of a huge goal. Yeah.
Kind of a huge goal. Yeah. But I mean, getting your name out there the way you're doing, accepting every invitation you could possibly get on to talk. It doesn't matter if you can impact 1 to thousands of people, it's an impact that you're making.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is one key strategy that you've done that helped you scale your business that everybody told you, oh, that's not going to work? Don't do that. We all have it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm actually in the middle of it right now. I'm working on hiring therapists who can see the clients that I'm no longer seeing. And, from a business standpoint, it's going to take a lot more therapists to actually be profitable doing that. But I feel good about that because she's aligned with what I'm talking about and what I'm trying to do. And I'm only one person. So it's nice to be able to have somebody that I can sort of pass it down to, and she can help me with my mission.
Don't you feel that when you're doing that, though, sometimes, I mean, well, let's just talk from a woman's perspective. We've built the business, it's our baby. Okay.
Yeah.
And we are actually going to give our business away to somebody else to support. They're supporting us. However, we have to let go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what is the easiest way do you think it is for us as business women to be able to release and let go?
Well, I think that as, women, we tend to take everything on. We're really good at that. We're good at multitasking. We have a high capacity and high tolerance for giving, really. And it really can, I think, as we age, I'm experiencing this, it can affect us physically. And so I think if you're young and you don't feel it yet, you can know that it will catch up to you. and if you're, in your mid 40s, like I am, or older, just know that like you have to preserve yourself. Right. And you can't be good to anyone if you aren't okay. So we all need help. Right. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My dad is the quintessential entrepreneur. And so much so that my brother made a visual for him, and it's his face in the middle, and it says CEO, and then it's his face all around the CEO as like, secretary and accountant and chairman of the board and president, so he's got all these faces and all these hats that he wears. And we all watched that growing up, right? He was not around. He didn't have a good work-life balance. I don't think that term was around back then, but certainly he didn't have a good balance. And he's very successful, but I think would have been happier had he actually gotten some help and delegated and not tried to be so in control of everything. So for me, that's the example of how to let go. And it's been hard, certainly, but it's necessary.
Yeah. And some of the things we have to let go, we choose not to let go, but we really have to let them go. Guys, I'm speaking from experience. I'm the same way. I have to let things go too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I remember I used to work for my dad, and at one point he assigned me this project, and I had to organize like all of these. I don't even really know. I think they were brochures or something. And I was really proud of myself. I organized them really nice in a binder, and it looked really good. And he just took one look at it and he's like, no, that's not how I wanted it done. But he didn't tell me how he wanted it done. He just said, nope, that's not how I wanted it done. So I had to start totally over, not even knowing what he wanted.
Did you get it right eventually?
I did eventually. Yeah. But that's it. I mean, it's, I think the entrepreneur is somebody that just, you have a vision, you know what you want to do, you can do it, but you don't always trust that somebody else can execute what you want. And that's, I think, the hard part is communicating that and leading. I never realized how important that was until I started to scale.
Explain thoroughly or accept what you get.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm usually the one that says, okay, here's the project. This is what I want. Do it to the best of your ability. Whatever you do, it's going to be better than what I've even thought about doing.
Yeah, I like that. I would work for you.
Always. So if you had a superpower for just one day, 24 hours, what would it be?
Oh, I would clone myself. Yes, I would clone myself. I would say, oh, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be fully present and not worry about what's going on over here, because what's going on over here is going to be taken care of.
What is the movie? I have to look up that movie. I think it had Tom Hanks. Who did it have?
No, it was Michael Keaton. It was Multiplicity.
That's it. Yeah. Multiplicity.
Except his clones were worse than the one before it, so that would not be good.
No, we'd have to stop at a certain limit,
Yes.
He just kept going. What's one fact about you that not a lot of people know about?
I actually, my answer to that I already said, which was that I was 10 years old when I decided I wanted to be a child therapist.
I just think that's amazing.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's like, I think about why. I must have just, like, I think about it from a spiritual perspective. Like, that's why I'm here. And I think from an early age, I just knew that was my purpose.
Definitely. All right, book. What's your favorite book?
Well, the last book I read that completely changed my life and made me take this giant leap is the David Goggins book, You Can't Hurt Me. Yeah, that was really powerful and really made an impression on me.
Good book.
Yeah.
Song. What's your favorite song? If it's your moving grooving, or you just can mellow out, whatever it is.
I love Whitney Houston. I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Love that song.
Yes.
I wasn't good in sports, but I can dance. How about that?
Yes, me too.
All right, we're going to go party. All right. Your favorite quote?
How you do anything is how you do everything.
All right. How do you stay motivated?
I remind myself that I chose to do something hard. And even though there are moments that I don't want to do it, it was a choice I made, and I'm not powerless.
Oh my God, that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all make choices, even though it was maybe our destiny or a gift we've been given. It's still a choice if we want to accept it or not.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
All right. What is the best way for our audience to connect with you?
I am on Instagram at iGeneration Mental Health. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn as Nicole Runyon. And you can go to my website, NicoleRunyon.com.
And pre-order the book.
Yes.
Get all the workbooks as well.
Yes. Yeah. Don't forget to get that bonus material. There's a lot of really good stuff in there.
So is there anything else you want to share with our female entrepreneurs that we haven't discussed yet?
Just that I'm grateful to be in the group, and I'm honored that you asked me to speak, and I'm grateful to be in with female entrepreneurs. I think we're a pretty cool bunch.
You think? We are. All right, Nicole, it was a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. It was great to be here.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.